Well, good morning, and we're here with another segment of Meet the Candidate. And today we're privileged to have Steve Huber, candidate for City Council in the City of Oxnard. Steve, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
And if you can give our viewers a little bit of background about who you are, where you grew up, your education, your family, and then why have you decided to run for City Council? So if you could share that with us, we'd certainly appreciate it.
Sure, I'd love to. I was born in Pennsylvania, a place called Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I joined the Navy, enlisted after high school. And while I was in the Navy, I was fortunate enough to go to the United States Naval Academy and be commissioned as an ensign in the Navy. I was a surface warfare officer, and I made my way through the ranks, and I ended up being a commanding officer of the USS Fife. It's a Sprones-class destroyer out of Everett, Washington. After that, I was fortunate enough to be selected among the best of the best to be the commanding officer of the Naval Surface Warfare Center in Port Hueneme, where I was a captain in charge of 2,000 people and a $600 million budget. I'm married. I have 4 children. My wife and I will be celebrating our 32nd year just before the election. So we'll actually be celebrating a 32nd year honeymoon after the election. 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. The oldest son is currently a student at USC's Marshall School getting his Master's of Business. I have a daughter who's a lieutenant in the Navy, stationed right now in Philadelphia. I have another daughter who's living in Belgium, working for Johnson & Johnson as an engineer. And I have a son who flies the Navy's P-8 Poseidon airplane. We moved 14 times in the 30 years I was in the Navy and ended up here in Port Hueneme at the Naval Surface Warfare Center, and we bought a house in Oxnard, and we just love the area. We love the people, we love the weather, we love the beaches, the close proximity to in-laws and friends and college classmates, close proximity to entertainment, mountains, ocean, and just love getting out and having a fun time. After I got out of the Navy in 2008, I became a member of the Planning Commission and started to get involved with the community. I also was a member of I still am a member of the Cabrillo Neighborhood Watch Patrol. I started to see some of the things that go on in the city. I'm now the chairman of the Planning Commission, and I really get to see what's going on in the city. And the reason I'm running is because, quite frankly, I think we have a crisis before us. We have a weak budget. We have brain drain. A lot of the executives are leaving. We have poor morale. We've cut our programs. We've given up on our children's programs. Most of our seniors' programs have been cut, and we have zero, none, nada business development. I think that's a management crisis, and so the reason I'm running is for three things: leadership, financial responsibility, and trust. I'm really disappointed in the leadership, and I'm frustrated in the leadership on the dais today. Common sense is not common in Oxnard, and we need an executive, a leader, who has experience, skills, and abilities to turn the ship around. There's a lot of things that I've done in my past that shows that I have the experience. When I was commanding officer of the when I was commanding officer of the USS Fife, I had about 350 sailors that worked for me. When I got to the ship, there were 3 feet of water in the bilges. The ship was literally sinking at the pier. We had low morale, the ship was dirty, and we didn't have enough money. That probably sounds familiar, very similar to Oxnard. I took a really diverse group of people together, we built an action plan, and within 18 months we turned the ship around. We were winning awards, we were making our missions, sailors were proud, they were happy, it was Fife pride, they were painting logos on the large equipment, and when they do that, that means they really care and then they really love their ship. I learned something else about being the commanding officer of that ship. I learned about who I really worked for. I became a servant leader. I made sure that those sailors had everything they need so they could do their job. The other thing I want to talk about is financial responsibility. When I was the commanding officer at the Naval Surface Warfare Center, I had a $600 million budget. I had 2,000 people. Every year we balanced that budget, and every year we had healthy reserves. So I know how to prioritize budgets, people, programs, infrastructure, and equipment. I know how to do it well. The final thing that I'm very interested in, and the reason I'm running, is we need to return trust to City Council. We need to have open, honest, responsive, and transparent leaders that have proven integrity to get the ship back on course. So those are some of the reasons why I'm running. The final thing I'll leave you with is that when I was a midshipman at the Naval Academy, I used to walk to the chapel through some bronze doors. And above those bronze doors was a slogan or motto that said, "Non sibi sed patria," not for self, but for country. We knew we were getting into something bigger than ourselves. And that's the way I see the Oxnard City Council. It's not about me. I have no personal agenda. My agenda is what's best for Oxnard. So my motto is "Non sibi sed Oxnard," not for self, but for Oxnard.